How you all doing? I'm Lucius Borich, drummer for COG, and getting ready to do the other festival on the 28th of January, Saturday in Brisbane at the Tivoli.
Beautiful, Lucius. Thanks for joining us today, mate.
You're very welcome, Kris.
So as you say, mate, COG will be headlining this year's The Other Festival, which will be held at the Tivoli in Brisbane on January the 28th. So how pumped are you for the shows? Or show were?
Yeah, very pumped. Yeah, getting the fuel in the tank, getting the cogs all greased up, getting rid of the cogwebs, you know, blah blah blah.
we sort of touched about this before we started the interview, mate, but I think it's an interesting point to make. Like, the music you guys do is pretty intense. So after not playing for so long, like, is it a bit of an adjustment, I guess, getting back into that performing mode and the sort of style of music that you do?
Yeah, it definitely is. We just did that bunch of shows, 5 shows with Carnival on the Monolith tour of festival. Went to all the different states in Australia, and we hadn't played because of COVID and all that stuff. We hadn't played for like almost 2 years, and that was a real adjustment. All of a sudden, boom, you're up in front of 3, 4, 5,000 people, whatever it was, and yeah, it was somewhat intimidating, and I think we did well, but to try and get in that frame of mind and that environment and feel comfortable after 2 years of not playing is definitely a challenge, that's for sure. But I think we pulled it off, and I think we've got a little bit of that still remaining in the tank from doing those shows, which was only, what was that, like about 4 months ago or something like that, 4 or 5 months ago. So yeah, it definitely, it requires you to be playing quite a lot to feel confident and comfortable and all that type of stuff. But we just don't seem to have that luxury to some degree, just given the circumstances of everyone's lives and the kind of where we're at in our career and whatnot. So but we try to rehearse and get things kind of dialed in, and then just get up there and do what we need to do. But to be a well fitted out, oiled up outfit, yeah, you do need to have regular gigs, I think, and it does make it harder when you don't. So it's challenging, which is good in some respects, and it can also actually add. You could say it adds a lot more dynamic to the performance too, because you're not kind of playing all the time or jaded. So there's that little bit of that double-edged sword there. It's kind of one of those kind of situations.
And you're going to be joined at the other festival by Osaka Punch, The Stranger, Bare Bones, The Wrath, Rhino, Mass Sky Raid, Mind's End, and more. And what's a pretty diverse lineup all up, mate? So how much time and thought actually goes into choosing the right bands, I guess, to make up a festival lineup?
Well, a lot of those bands are up and coming bands. A few of the bands on there, I've worked with, I produce, and I've worked with in the studio and helped release songs with them. And so sometimes I find that those bands are credible. They're working hard. They've got a good plan and foresight with what they want to do. So I throw into the mix some of the bands that I work with in the studio and think they're a good idea to also put on the festival and highlight. And then there's a mixed bag of other bands that come from other areas. Obviously, Matthew Yogi Donnan from Road Sick and Volume Touring. He's the other festival is a big part of his creation. So he likes to, and he tour manages quite a lot of acts and does really well. And he sees a lot of bands when he's around, so he picks the bands that he likes as well. And just getting the up and coming bands from the area and trying to showcase them. And when it's highlighted in a like a mini festival, I think that's a good thing for the bands that maybe find it a bit hard to get onto some of the other festivals, that are out there. they can get on this other
This
festival.
other festival. And Osaka Punch are on the bill again after appearing at the first event in 2021, man. Like, they're a pretty special unit, those guys, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been working really hard over a long period of time, and it's great to have them on again. They're really, really entertaining and great musicianship. So yeah, they're gonna kill it as always.
And this year, the event's moving from the Fortitude Music Hall to the Tivoli in Brisbane. So is there any major reason for that?
Well, each venue costs a certain amount to hire and to put on. So some are more expensive than others, and so that plays into it a little bit. The other thing is we also, we love the Tivoli, and we've had a few gigs cancelled at the Tivoli given the coronavirus. So to help bring some acts through there and give them some work as well, and that's important, to keep that venue alive and ticking, and spread it around a little bit, having a new venue, which is always pretty good. So it's a good functional facility, that one as well. So and I've always liked playing there, but to me the Tivoli is one of my favourite places to play in Australia, actually.
Yeah, it's a good venue. And are you going to be having the outside car park as well as the inside stage?
What do you mean, like the band?
Is it going to be 2 stages on the day?
There is two stages, yeah. So there's a bit of that ping-ponging backwards and forwards, so people can really maximise and, digest a lot of the different, everyone's got shorter sets than usual. But that's kind of a good thing, you know what I mean? You do get smashed with a lot of full-on loud music, but if you love music, you'll soak it up big time and be able to really have a eclectic mix of different bands offering their what they can do.
There. And there's also going to be DJs in the form of DJ Pricey, Crispy Town, and Beaver Fever, mate. So how are they going to fit into the day?
Well, the bands, obviously, you've got bands we're setting up in between other bands, so the DJ will be in between that, just keeping the vibe kind of going, really. Yeah. So you're creating that kind of a bit of that party environment on a big scale, we just want the vibes and the music to keep on functioning throughout the whole day. Yeah. So yeah, they'll find time in between the bands. As far as I know, that's the way it's working.
Yeah, cool. And how about from you guys, mate? Can we expect any surprise new songs or anything like that?
Yeah, we'll be making up 10 new songs on the day.
As you do.
Not playing anything that you've ever heard before. So one opportunity to come and see brand new songs that we've never played, and we don't even know what they're going to be. So it's going to be an hour's worth of just jamming on beats, guitar riffs, vocal melodies, and whatnot. So, but there'll be no COG songs that are on any of the albums. So but it'll be really exciting.
You can bet you're going to have at least 3 or 4 people on the day come up to you and go, "I thought you said you were going to be playing 10 new songs."
Just bring your iPhones and press record on the little thing, and you'll have a nice little bootleg. A one only time.
So in all seriousness, bro, and I bet you are sick of being asked this, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't. But how far advanced into the next album are you? Have you written any new material?
We've got 3 albums in the bag, ready to go, and we're just scheduling like an opportunity to drop each album, probably one every 3 months, and each album's going to have about 12 songs on it.
And what's the real answer?
I know that answer. You don't?
We'll save that for another day. So this year COG will be turning 25 too, bro. So are there any major celebration plans in the works?
Maybe a Barbie somewhere.
Open invite?
One snag on a Barbie somewhere.
You guys have never really been a band that...
And for the vegans, we'll bring a banana.
You guys have never really been a band to celebrate milestones, though, have you? So it wouldn't really be that big of a deal for you, would it?
No, not really. I mean, it's amazing that we've had a career that's lasted somewhat that long, and that there's people that generally still like the band, think the music's still somewhat relative, and values the band as something that's worth listening to and watching. Yeah, but every gig is the last gig as far as I look at it, because you never know what can happen. So we kind of treat every show that we do with the utmost respect and comradeship between the three of us. And who knows what will happen after that show. So yeah, I definitely play every show like it's the last one.
And Cog, I'd say, man, like Cog's got some of the most diehard fans in Australia, man. So what do you think is it about the band and your music that invokes such passion in people?
It could be a myriad of things. It could be sonically they like the way the music kind of flows, and given that I try to write it in an original way, very integral to the way we feel about music, and that could be a part of it, and that it's kind of different from other music that's out there. I think there could be a narrative that we sing about, and in terms of the bigger, broader scheme of things and what's going on in the world, and how things are kind of shaping up. And then maybe the honesty in that as well, with integrating that with our personal experiences that we have. A live show, it could be hopefully it's the connection to what we feel with the music, which is that feeling of being passionate about what we've created and what we like to honor. And they can every time they come to see us, they see us really pulling into that, or really immersing ourselves in that experience. And I'm sure there's many other reasons that that people have, that I've got no idea about.
So aside from an hour's jam worth of new material at the other festival and a barbecue later on in the year, what else you guys got planned for 2023?
Look, it's all up in the air, really. There's a big part of the band that likes to keep things without any kind of compass set. Compass just going round and round and round, and who knows where it's going to kind of stop, what it's going to land on. That can add a bit of excitement to what's around the corner. Planning's good, and having a strategy and foresight and knowing what you're going to be doing is good. And sometimes there's a little bit of that, and sometimes there's not. At the moment, there's not, so it leaves it open to interpretation in terms of what's coming down the pipeline, which is exciting. So as we like to say in the band, which we should make a shirt, time will tell.
That'd be a bestseller.
Yeah. Well, everyone can, I guess everyone can, they've got a different relationship with that quote.
All right, Lucius. Well, thanks very much for your time today, mate. The other festival is on in Brisbane at the Tivoli Theatre on January the 28th. And from what I understand, there's only a handful of tickets left. So you best get yourself out there and grab yourself one if you want to share in the fun, mate.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity, Kris. Awesome.